0 at the hands of Finland and England. But the Bulgarians still looking for their first goal. They got their first 2 shots 2 days ago against England. Is today the day where they have their best scoring opportunity? Face-off win from Wilhelm Muskins, and the Dutch will have possession here to open things up. And Ingmar, they will see a Bulgarian zone that they'll have to work against all day, so some extended practice against that for head coach Tom Thayer.
Yeah, I think it's a little different than what they saw the last couple of games, because they saw a lot of man-to-man defense. And this time with the zone, I think they're really going to work on their skip passing, but still running their systems. I think they want to dictate the pace of this game for sure, yeah.
Go through the starters with Alderic van der Heide on the attack, Casper Bovie, and the third attackman, Jake Bowman. And they get an initial score from the angle.
I think it's
goal from Jake Bowman.
Oh, sorry.
Jake Bowman to make it 1-0. Bowman 34 there on the wing with the tally.
Yeah, Jake is an alumni for Frostburg State, who was an actual standout at his college and had a tremendous career. Also played in San Diego with the Dutch, and now is up for his second tournament.
An unassisted goal. I recall having broadcast Jake Bowman while at Frostburg State too. First shot, first goal. Wieland Muskens picks up procedure against the faceoff and Simon Pekovsky. So van der Heide, Bovie, and Bowman. The first midfield will be Luke McDonald, Thomas Carver, and Nico Berger. And the Dutch very deep, really liking their lineup for Coach Tom Thayer, 1 through 22. And all the personnel that he can mix and match. And we'll go through the starters for Bulgaria. Defensively, Andrei Chapchev with Ivor Argenio and Julian Bakalov are the 3 close defenders. Bulgaria spent time also working on exit strategy off of a face-off, different strategies in terms of stopping fast breaks off a face-off. There's a shot off the stick handle of Angelov. Follow-up opportunity, Bowman down low, and it'll be tucked in. Finishing from high to low, Casper Bovie made a little mini stick fake. Bowman fed him, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, it was an excellent finish from Bovie on the doorstep. He's one of the best. He's one of the best attackmen in the Netherlands. Plays for Delft Barons. Yeah, you can really see he does that a lot in practice with the national team, but also at his club level.
Pekovsky will face off. And 2 short sticks for Bulgaria, typically on the draw. Muskins, after the game yesterday, was honored playing his 50th game as a member, international game as a member of the Dutch. And he's the primary face-off guy. There really isn't a second face-off guy, true face-off man for the Netherlands. So he has a very heavy plate for this 10-day tournament into the knockout round. And of course with what the Latvians have in their face-off game that has been eye-opening. Feed down low, and maybe making the save, it's Angelov. In tight on the shot by Bovie.
Yeah, coming back on that face-off, I think their second face-off guy is going to be Hayden Kreitz, especially with a game like this today. I think he's going to take a couple of face-offs.
Bovie swings back. Wesley Heerkink has that shot from low to low, missing from Alderic van der Heide. Dutch expect to have a ton of possession after watching Finland and England, and Bulgaria hoping they can clear the ball more efficiently. They were able to practice about 2 hours and 15 minutes last night. Once the games are over here, the fields are wide open. Most teams have decided they want to just be off their feet. There's a rip. Bowman with the feed. Luke McDonald to make it 3-0.
That was an excellent shot by Luke McDonald. He was also a member of the Dutch box team last fall in Utica. So he's really a guy who kind of can do it all, both box and field.
And talking to Tom Thayer about this game, he's going to rest a couple of guys, but more importantly, seeing the ball going into the net for his team. regardless of competition level, Ingmar, he feels, is going to have some significance, or he hopes will have some significance in terms of a carryover for his team, and with all the time on offense he projects they will have.
Yeah, definitely, because they have a day off tomorrow. So I think this is the last time before their play-in game. And another goal for the Netherlands.
4-0 the score. Vanderheide off the skip from Bowman. And Jake Bowman out of Clarence, New York. That's in Buffalo with 3 consecutive assists. And Alderic Vanderheide gets involved for the first time. So that time, a transition fast break that Bulgaria has been hoping to stop. And when you look at math and talking to head coach Darcy Paulus, across the border in Ontario from the United States, across from New York, undertaking this position, coaching Bulgaria, along with attackman Tucker LaBelle, who is a de facto acting coach, as they're on the pursuit Paykovsky, and it'll be one on the wings by Willem Colin. And Colin will drop it off. And they're trying to make incredible baby steps here, and to show the world and everybody else in Bulgaria, and particularly the people around in North America that could have some Bulgarian ancestry. Look, there is a team, something to get interested in, something to kind of get the attention and communication flowing their way for future tournaments.
Yeah, I think it's amazing to see new emerging countries out here in the European Men's Lacrosse Championships. And although, sometimes people can have an opinion. They don't all have the same helmets, and they don't all have the same gloves. But I think it's amazing a country like this is here on this stage.
And it certainly has to start somewhere, and England in particular. I thought their sportsmanship, Ingmar, was very good in the 26-0 game. There's a shot. Olaf Van Nielen is saved there. Second midfield out here for head coach Tom Thayer. Van Nielen with Joris Untersamberger and also Wesley Heerkink. The attackman Bovey skips, and a throwback for Berger. Actually, Berger remains on. It's a chance for experimentation for the Netherlands coaching staff and seeing guys in different spots. You just never know. Feed in front. Vanderheide forced it, and the ground ball picked up by Julian Bakalov. So now can Bulgaria execute their first clear, as Bakalov will deal it behind here to Angelov. And Bakalov will go across here for Andrei Topchev. Topchev is very young, 18 years old. He might consider playing lacrosse in college for head coach Tucker LaBelle, who is the head coach at Clark University. That is an NAIA program located in Iowa. Bakalov, and offsides is the call against Bulgaria. So the Dutch were playing a soft ride, but Bulgaria did not communicate there. So transition for the Dutch, and a feed across and a goal.
Jake Bowman.
So Bowman, now a hand in all 5 goals, got a pass from a Dutch player, and his second to go along with 3 assists. Bowman finishing his career at Frostburg State in 2023, and was first team All East Coast Conference that year, rather 22 and 23, and was a high-quality midfielder as a 3-year starter at that position, and being second team All-Western New York in lacrosse as a senior, and also a very good soccer player. Time is taken here by Bulgaria with 6:28 to go in this opening quarter. Ralph Bjornchik alongside Ingmar Klingbanik as we talk through this one. So for the Dutch, and just to recap there, the face-off situation, it's has been the overlying theme for the Dutch. In the first game, they were about 20% facing off, and then against England 2 games later, losing 16-4. Tom Thayer, Ingmar, pleased that they got up to 40%, but they were much better on the wings. Their face-off strategy was much better, creating a 3-on-3. They were just generally much more competitive at it against high-caliber competition. And that's what he took away from those games, regardless of the score, and gave him some optimism for what the incoming days are looking like.
Yeah, I mean, you really want to hold on to that ground ball fight you have after that face-off, and not just give up a clean lane, picking it up by the Fogo from England or Latvia, and giving up fast breaks. So I think yesterday they did a very good job against England, putting up way more of a fight than the game before. So yeah, I think that's a touch point, and that's something that's a learning they had yesterday, and I think this is also what they want to continue today. And you saw, Wieland Muskens with some excellent face-offs, some wins in front of him. So yeah, I think that's important what they want to continue on.
Muskens will continue facing off against Pejkovski. As Pejkovski kicks it around, this is the first real battle that we've seen, but Muskens will grab it himself. And the Bulgarian focus has been how to make face-off adjustments for Pejkovski, as he is learning and he has prioritized facing off in his career as the first full true Fogo in Bulgaria. But you can win at club levels with one move, Ingmar, or physically being stronger than your opponent. But then you need to learn how to counter, speed. There's so many things here that Semen Pejkovski is learning on the job.
Yeah, it's definitely an art, I think, and that's why you have all these face-off clinics, face-off specialists. It's truly something special in lacrosse.
A good find. Bowman, again, quarterbacking thing, finds Luke McDonald, and it's 6-0. So they found the second cutter through, and Bowman showing he has great eyes and also a very calm mind.
Definitely, and you could really see that that quick finish from Luke McDonald. That's probably definitely something he picked up in the box competitions he's been playing.
New face-off man is Hayden Kreitz for the first time for the Dutch, so he'll get an extended opportunity. Pejkovski over the ball. And again, another one that'll be decided on the wings, and Willem Colin. Colin with the feed, one more extra pass, dunked in, fantastic. Hayden Kreitz got the feed from the wing. I think that was Bowman again on the assist, 7-0.
Yeah.
But Hayden Kreitz, a short stick D-midi, who can complement Wieland Muskens as the second face-off guy. And these are these kinds of games where the D-middies and the face-off guys can get rewarded by getting some shots.
Definitely, and it's really, and you see how happy they are on the sideline for Hayden Kreitz. That's his first goal in an international tournament, and that's amazing to see. Hayden is a player who started in Amsterdam Lions, and now plays for Loughborough in England, in the UK. And yeah, that's amazing to see that he's now has his first goal in an international stage.
Had to do it as a quick stick in some traffic too, looking like an attackman, Hayden Kreitz.
Yes.
We'll get procedure called a hold against the Dutch. So here Bulgaria with their first possession, and here is Clayton Bell, who's from British Columbia. Bell trying to take the shot that's blocked. The Bulgarians got their first two official shots against England 2 days ago. Again, still looking for their first goal. When they score their first goal, they will stop and take the ball. And talking to some of the team, they hope they will not be overexcited, realizing that the scoreboard might be very bad in their way, but they also want to recognize that they've achieved something whenever it happens. Feed for Clayton Bell, and he couldn't one-hand it. And Taco Blum, Hendrik Taco Blum, was able to come over defensively. The Dutch defenders quickly, Donald Verschoor with Hendrik Blum and Martin Kenbeek. And the long pole mini is Jorik van Nielen as the starters in front of Thomas Heitzma. So the Dutch will have to earn the clear here. And they do for D-midi Paul Blyce. Rare transition chance for the Dutch, as Bowman gave up the sneak down low, and instead they will run some 3-on-3 offense, and obviously good sportsmanship shown. Yeah. Better to work on your 3-on-3 rather than take the cupcake goal.
Yeah, we're seeing Paul Blythe getting off the field. He's number 17. He plays for the Rotterdam Jaguars, and he's actually makes his debut on the international stage for the field team. He played for the box team, but he makes his debut for the field team, and he's already 39. They're 39 years old, but I think it shows that it's never too late. It's never too late to make your debut for any national team. So I hope it inspires people back home.
Yeah, Bulgaria also has a 45-year-old on the team, but then a couple of players that are just barely adults, as Olaf Van Nielen gave up the look. Now Van Nielen down to Bowman. Thinking about it is Nico Berger, and they look for something better. Berger on the pass, did not catch who finished.
It's Alderich van der Heijden, yeah.
And it was 4 on the other side of Van der Heijden. And to make it 8-0, Van der Heijden with his second on the feed from Berger. And we're seeing, of course, the influence of the box game like never before, particularly when you take into account the last European Championships, which were held 9 years ago in 2016, full true tournament. There were European qualifiers played in 22, but it was not to the extent or the full tournament as this is. Now the game is drastically different less than a decade later as Hayden Kreitz gets called for the false start. So second face-off win for Bulgaria. And Pejkovsky. And now here's a timeout that will be taken by Darcy Paulus. So he recognizes the situation. With 47 seconds left first quarter, where they want to work the ball around and get somewhat of an offensive possession. Yesterday, Bulgaria, as a team, most of the team went and visited a historic castle about an hour and a half away. Here from where we are in Wroclaw, Poland, in southwest Poland. Something of a team bonding thing because it's been all lacrosse that they've been trying to cram in, like they're studying for exams for a developing nation where they're trying to be sponges and learn as much lacrosse as possible. But they did take a break, and they made that trip. Also want to shout out the Dutch women's national team. About 5 of their players are here and supporting the men, including low defender Hannah Hunt, who is married to the assistant coach Nathan Hunt over there. And they're both Americans that have since moved to the Netherlands and made a substantial presence in the Dutch lacrosse community. But this is entirely homegrown Dutch team that we're seeing on the field. Bulgaria out of the timeout. Can they come up with their first shot of this game? Galen Ivanov, who is a midfielder. They love to get Clayton Bell somewhere in the crease a look. And they'll swing here for Dimitar Ivanov. Fabian Todorov. 15 seconds left. And Todorov will roll it here to Galen Ivanov. 10 seconds to go. And we get a stoppage because Fabian Todorov, something happened and he is shaken up. So it comes in an odd time with 5.9 left. So they'll have the ball at the edge of the box, but he will have to come off the field due to an injury stoppage. And Fabian Todorov is now favoring his midsection as he walks off the field.
Yeah, I couldn't really see what happened there. Yeah, it doesn't look good if you have to come off the field like that. And that's not a pretty sight. It's never a pretty sight if someone has to come off of an injury. So I hope he's going to be fine.
He appears to be in pain. Bulgaria having a shorter roster than everybody else. So here on the whistle with 5 seconds to go, Ivanov looking for a brush screen. They get it here, Dimitar Ivanov with 2 seconds with 1 as they feed it outside. That's it for the first quarter. So it's 8-0 Netherlands, and the Dutch trying to get to 2-2 to finish out group play before they will head into the first game of the knockout round on Tuesday. 8-0 is our score. You're watching the 2025 Men's European Lacrosse Championship from Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV. non-lacrosse shooting by shooting photography. The psychology of this, wow. I'm now the 6th PhD in Netherlands women's lacrosse because it came up with that, you see? Nearly a face-off win for Bulgaria as we start the second quarter, as they've turned this into a scrum with 16 Julian Bakalov, and he does come up with it off the wing. You'll notice his yellow LSU lacrosse, club lacrosse helmet. As we get a call and a 1-minute slash coming out against the Netherlands, and that appears to be, that's Hayden Kreitz. So here is Bulgaria with a man up, and I think this could be their first so far of the tournament.
All right.
So now Darcy Palace, he'll have to communicate to his players to self-correct quickly. He's already spent both of his first half timeouts.
Yep.
So this is where game IQ coming along quickly. Ingmar gets put to the test, and there's a shot, and it is a goal for Clayton Bell. I don't know if Thomas Heitzma was expecting a pass. And the Dutch are gathered and stumped for a little bit, and Clayton Bell has the first goal for Bulgaria in any international competition. It's 8-1.
It was actually a really good shot. It was top corner, so I don't think Heitzma expected it to get a shot right there, because they were still kind of setting it up, and there was not really any urgency from the Bulgarian offense to make a play. But yeah, you said he was a Canadian, has a Canadian background, so yeah, those Canadians don't need a lot of space to shoot.
Yeah, and they're usually precision shooters too. Ingmar, if you ever seen them, they usually don't miss if they get any angles. As Wieland Mooskin's face-off win, but this is off the stick of Alderik van der Heide, who recovers. So Clayton Bell, I think, is still living in the moment and was having a brief conversation with Hendrik Taco Blum, whether or not Blum was giving him the shot, but Bell may have surprised him with the quality and the velocity of that shot. And there was a little bit of traffic there because of the body of Blum. So Bulgaria has its first goal in Game 3 of these European Championships. Now I'm watching Clayton Bell here at attack, and he can't he can't stand still.
He's excited. He's definitely excited. And can you blame him? I mean, getting the first goal.
That's Jake Bowman, another assist. Luke McDonald, well-timed cuts. And these are good cuts that the Dutch are making against the zone that have to be on time. And they do so with McDonald with his latest. That's his third. And Bowman continues to feed his teammates. For Bowman, that is his 6th assist.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning of the game, they're now the Netherlands is now facing zone defense, and they have seen a lot of man-to-man defense. And with its zone defense, skip passes are key, and they're doing that very, very well, especially Jake Bowman.
Clean face-off win, Hayden Kreitz. It also ends up as a man-up goal for Bulgaria by Bell. Room and time for the rip, and that shot missed. Good location there for Hendrikus Rikov, short stick D-midi, who was the trail man on the play.
Yeah, he goes by Graham Rikov, and he's one of the captains this year.
Dutch having backup, and they'll sub on their second midfield unit with Van Nielen. Berger will come in. And Luke McDonald. So it's a little bit of a mix. Or make that actually 64, Joris Untersalmberger.
Yeah, it looks like they're now in that zone defense from Bulgaria. The Dutch are running actually kind of a man-up play with 3 guys above the goal line extended. So it's kind of a man-up play they're now doing against that zone defense.
On the approach, they'll give it up. Nico Berger. One more, room and time for the rip, and that's blocked. Off the stick of Untersalmberger. And taking the punishment was a Bulgarian defender, Dimitar Velev. And number 9 in green. Play continues. No shot clock in the international game yet.
Oh.
Now the shot fake. Velev, man, showing great courage to step in to the lane of that shot.
Definitely.
That never came. One more look for Vanderheide. Bowman moves along.
You can really see a lot of patience here by the Dutch offense. They really want to have that perfect shot, and there it is. Goal for the Netherlands.
Bowman went from the point man up high, cut to the high crease. Wonderful offense. He got a feed from a teammate that I did not catch, but Bowman offensively has his 3rd goal along with the 6 assists, 10-1. And this Bulgaria zone that we will continue to be watching, among the things that they worked on was trying to learn how to press out a little bit, put a little pressure on from your spot, and then learn how to recover and understand when to recover. Almost like an accordion that goes out from your spot in the zone, bottom or top, pressure, and then back out of it, among the thoughts that Darcy Powless was working with his team on yesterday. Kreitz, the shot, and the save is made at the feet of Tony Angelov.
Yeah, he almost had a 2nd goal of the game there, hitting Kreitz. And again, kind of the same kind of play. Just go up to the crease and find that open space.
Pekovsky. And Pekovsky in trouble, and a clean trail check from behind for Paul Blyce. Now the ball on the ground. Attempting to fish this out, and on the handle, Nikolay Cholikov, who is the president of the Bulgarian Lacrosse Association. Among the creators, his feed looking for Bell on the cut. That's knocked down. And the Dutch with their first real transition chance. Defender Floris-Jan Nieuwenhuis comes up with a clear. The trail man for the Dutch as they make substitutions. Room for the rip, and that's blocked. Just Basselman's the shot. Short stick D-mid. Follow up from Bowman. And now they'll back it out with nearly 8 minutes to go in this opening half. 10-1 is the score. The 10 is not the story. The 1 is the story. Bulgaria has its first goal in international competition as a nation, as a lacrosse program. It came on a shot by Clayton Bell on man up that may have surprised Thomas Heitzma. I know, Ingmar, I will be fine asking that after the game, and certainly asking Hendrik Blom about that too, who is an engineer that usually would be calculating who is shooting or not.
Yeah, and he also had quite a long conversation with Bell after that shot and after that goal. So they definitely talked about that. So change of pace now for the Netherlands. You see also some of the usual short stick defensive midfielders now running offense. You see Paul Blyce there, and I also saw Just Baselmans earlier. So it really looks like Netherlands is changing their pace a little on offense.
Making a fine save. That time was Angelov, however, a failed clear. Bowman off the fake will score. The layoff from Alderic Vanderheide. And clearing is the fundamental area. Again, Bulgaria. Darcy Powless has notably said we've really struggled and we get some stops, but when you fail to clear, you give up so many layups on the other end because you're not in any defensive position. So the numbers you give up, the goals you give up, end up being higher than they should be.
Yeah, I think it's really, you know, what we said earlier, it's really nice to see emerging countries coming here and to play, but you also see some growing pains, right? Growing pains, some unusual situations they're getting into, but yeah, that's all part of the game.
Off the face-off, and Ingmar, I'm sure we'll get into later in this broadcast where the Netherlands were even 10 years ago, what they can do now. But Tom Fayer with 11 first-timers on his team. But this is the Dutch team that has spent the most time together of any other nation. So on one hand, they're inexperienced in these games, but on the other hand, they have played more lacrosse together, but B, more lacrosse overall compared to other Dutch teams. So that's what gives this Dutch team a lot of optimism still into the knockout round, despite their lopsided losses to Latvia and England.
Yeah, definitely. I was able to be part of this Dutch program for a long time, and still am. And you know, there are weekly practices. The team's coming together weekly. They're having tournaments out in Manchester, also in here in Wroclaw in April. And you can really see this team is really bonding together. It's yeah, they're brothers and their family, and that's really shows on the field.
They've been to Portugal twice. Like you said, Manchester Saturday they scrimmaged both Ireland and Scotland, so they have been extremely devoted towards a common goal of going somewhere where the Dutch have never gone before, high up in the European tournament standings. And of course, if this is the first broadcast you're watching, this is a result where the top 7 teams remaining out of the 24 that are playing here will advance and qualify for the 2027 World Championships taking place in Japan. The group champions, the 5 group champions, all have automatic entries and still finish in the top 5 and have automatic bids to the quarterfinals. So those teams are basically assured of a spot, barring losses in their very first game. As that shot by Ivanov, or rather the pass for Ivanov, is thrown away. But if you don't win the group, you still have a chance, but your road is much harder. Graham Riekoff will take the clear. 4 minutes to go, first half.
I think here it's they're back in their starting midfield with Luke McDonald and Nico Berger, and also now coming in Tom Carver, who actually plays for his second country. He played for Poland before in the international stage, and now plays for the Netherlands. Lives in Amsterdam, so definitely is local guy.
Yes, I've heard the story from Carver. Oh, what a nice slip pass. Luke McDonald finding Jake Bowman to make it 12-1. Bowman now with 3 straight goals. He is up to 5. But an impressive pass by McDonald. Ball was in and out of his stick in a hurry. First assist for McDonald to make it 12-1. Thomas Carver does have Polish blood, but I believe has also spent time in England.
Yep, definitely. He played for Oxford University and for Spencer, and so he's familiar with UK lacrosse, with Poland lacrosse. He also played here and for the Wroclaw team, and now he's already for a couple of years member of the Amsterdam Lions. Has a couple of championships there in the Netherlands in the Dutch league. So yeah, definitely is a local guy, and he's part of this Dutch team. And I think nowadays, especially this tournament, he feels more Dutch than Polish or English.
Kreitz with a face-off win, nearing 2 minutes left. And Tom Thayer will take a timeout. Coach Thayer has lived in the Netherlands for 13 years, New Jersey native from the Princeton area. Attended Immaculata High School. He will gather his team to probably talk about one shot or what he'd like to see further as they practice situations against the zone. Now, from this tournament, from the vast collection of games that I've already seen, and Ingmar, probably the same way for you, I think we've already reached somewhere in the vicinity of 40 games that have been played as of this moment, maybe like 35. Only Poland has really played a lot of zone to this point, aside from Bulgaria. But second time around for some of these teams when they may see each other again from the same group. Of course, these coaches are preparing for adjustments to be made like the zone.
Yeah, definitely. You can already see they're making adjustments right now. The Netherlands were playing that man up instead of their usual play. So yeah, I think they're now adjusting on that zone because like you said, not a lot of teams are actually playing a zone defense this tournament. So if you face it and you're a little bit surprised, surprised off guard, then yeah, then you have to adjust. But this team can do it, I think.
Yeah, many coaches have indicated, you know, the hardest thing about playing zone right away for these tournaments is you generally don't have a chance to practice it because you're focused on having your man-to-man be good. Then when you get here, when you get on the same page or much more on the same page man-to-man, then you have a greater opportunity to put in a secondary defense.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, I saw a guy from one of the defenders from Bulgaria just running in, so they were a little late on the restart.
Darcy Palace also has prided himself. You know, we haven't taken many offsides penalties. There's a bouncing shot inside. Good look for Kasper Bovy. Angelov was able to get enough on it with the stick. 1:45 left. This is out of a Dutch timeout.
Yeah, like you said, with the offside penalties, I think that's also something you see a lot with growing pains. You know, a lot of offside calls, a lot of offside penalties. So that's you know, very good from the Bulgarian team. They are limiting that.
Untersalmberger's shot nicking the helmet of Dimitar Velev, and Velev got that somewhere around the ear. And Ingmar, we noticed earlier, Dimitar Velev has shown tremendous courage a couple of times, standing in there for shots to try to help his goalie.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it takes a lot of courage to step into that ball, especially when someone has time and room and wants to shoot. But I think he's relentless here because he's already standing up, and as soon as he saw the trainer was getting onto the field, he tried to pick it up and put on his helmet right away to to be part of the restart. But that's one of the rules. If the play has to be stopped for you for an injury, then yeah, you have to come off.
Dimitar Velev, he looks the part of a defenseman, legitimate 6'2", 6'3", rangy player, and I'd be very curious to see what he looks like as a player in 1 to 2 years. And he looks like a player that has perhaps the highest upside of anybody here from Bulgaria. And once his stick comes along as a long pole, and then when you factor in that kind of fearlessness, cannot be taught, Ingmar. I don't know how many shots have you blocked, Ingmar, in your club career?
Well, not a lot because I was always on offense, you know, just waiting there on the crease. So sometimes I got hit by one of my fellow players. But no, I'm not crazy enough to be a defender to step in or in goal. I think that's even crazier to be in goal and face those shots. So yeah, props for those who will and have that mentality, because like you said, you can't teach that. It can't be taught.
Ivor Arginio comes up with a clear for Bulgaria. 42 seconds remaining. However, offsides is called on Bulgaria. And in these international tournaments, there are 4 officials. So first time for the entirety, most of these players for Bulgaria, where they're playing with this many officials. So you can't escape with anything in terms of the timing of staying onside and subbing correctly, as the flag is now.
Yeah, I might have jinxed that because I just said earlier, you know, give credits to Bulgaria for not being onside as much, and now they're being offside. So that's my bad if I jinxed that one for Bulgaria.
It's a 30-second procedure penalty against Bulgaria's Dimitar Ivanov. So here is a man up for 21 seconds for the Netherlands. And assuming that they hold it to start the third quarter, there may or may not be a carryover to the third. They just turned it over on the offside. They need to bring out one more player. Oh, hold on. Actually, there's 2 players sitting.
Yeah, I think also on the restart he was too close and he played Joris Untersomberger. So with the restart, he put his stick out on Untersomberger, and I think that's another illegal procedure for Bulgaria. So we're going to see 2 men down. I think that's what I just saw.
So 6-on-4. So we'll see if the Netherlands might elect not to shoot here, then not have a face-off to open up the third. A chance to practice their 6-on-4 movement. Van der Heide, feed, and there's a finish for Thomas Carver, who pops out. And for Carver, I'm sure special for him to score a goal in Poland, a country that he has spent time in. And here in Wroclaw in particular, Van der Heide on the assist to make it 13-1 with 5 seconds left. Here in Wrocław is arguably the capital of lacrosse in the country of Poland, or they actually sure have a pretty good argument for it. So Carver undoubtedly has spent some time here at this facility. Face-off win for Kreitz. Is there time with 1 second? There is not. 13-1 at the half is our score. Jake Bowman putting on an offensive clinic early with his passing, getting his teammates involved. But the story, Bulgaria has their first goal in international competition from Clayton Bell. It came on man up to make it 8-1. That's the story here. We'll be back in 10 minutes to bring you the second half from World Lacrosse TV and Lax TV from the 2025 European Men's Lacrosse Championship.
We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally, by World Lacrosse.
The Good Stick Company is here to manufacture and produce lacrosse sticks locally here in the Czech Republic. Our mission is to make lacrosse more accessible so more kids can have access to affordable, high-quality equipment so more people can play this game and we can share this sport around the world. Our philosophy on pricing is quite simple. By removing all these different logistics and these middlemen in the manufacturing process of lacrosse sticks, we can pass those savings on to you. We can make these quality lacrosse sticks affordable for more people.
And we're moments from starting the third quarter of play. Well, unfortunately, the good weather lasted a short period of time, but that's been the story among the headline stories here in Poland. It has started raining, and we are on a grass field, and unfortunately this field and the other field may continue to get beat up. And these fields are going to try to make it through all the way to Saturday, next Saturday the 19th. But that is typically the case in these international games. You hope the fields can hold up too. And against the elements, there's been no heat, so the players can at least withstand at least not having that element. 13-1 is our score. Netherlands going to pick up their second win, as expected, but Bulgaria coming up with their first goal on really their first shot. They had an earlier shot attempt. They had just 2 shot attempts against England. And here they are with possession with Clayton Bell, number 13 in green. He has their first goal, but then his pass is a little too high for Coach Tucker LaBelle.
Ooh.
And taking the ball the other way is Alderic van der Heide. On the skip here for Bowman. Leads a 2-on-1, looks around. They find the trail man, room in time for Thomas Carver, who misses the shot. Carver just scored his first goal of the tournament earlier. And it is now a heavy rain. Rather than the drizzles that we have experienced, fortunately we are in a covered tent. But we hope our crew, and certainly commend our crew for doing a good job, including our cameraman today in Mateusz Gwóźdź up top, who is covered, but maybe not entirely.
Yeah, you can also see the whole coaching staff from both teams under their tents.
Carver got the cut, save is made. This is Marcos Bocanegra, who will play the second half. He just graduated high school in the state of Virginia, played the club lacrosse for True Nova. And he will join attackman Tucker LaBelle of Bulgaria, who will be his head coach at Clark University in Iowa. They play at the NAIA level, not NCAA, but it is a college organization still. As Bocanegra's clear sails over his teammate's head in Ivor Argenio, and the failed clear again for the Bulgarians. Ooh. Quick pass here for Olaf Van Nielen, that's also thrown away.
Yeah, he was wide open right in the middle, and Van der Heide tried to find him, but it was just a little too high. And
here's Julian Sokolov, turns it over against the ride of Bowman.
And that high pass might also be because the rain affected their sticks. So the ball is a little bit more slippy. Your stick is going to be changing. You know, it's been dry mostly dry the rest of the tournament. So now your stick is going to be a little bit different. It feels different. The ball feels different. So I think we might see some players adjusting, their stick or just their passing this quarter with this rain.
Is it a serious, steady rain? Carver, and out to challenge him, Fabian Todorov defensively. Onto the wing it comes. Oh. And the pass, the shot hits the pipe. Joris Untersamberger got a good pass from Wesley Heerkink. Room and time to give it up again. Heerkink. Back for Casper Bovie. And the Netherlands will reset. Talking to the Wales coaching staff, Ingmar, they have practiced and everything. Of course, weather there in the northern British Isles, where Wales will typically practice, can be brutal. Oh, nice stick fake, Bowman on the feed down low, and Casper Bovie by himself, 14-1. But the Wales team in particular, talking to head coach Dan Fennell, they felt very well prepared for poor weather, and it's ended up that we've had almost entirely poor weather here in Poland so far, while most coaches come in expecting how are we going to handle the heat, how are we going to rest our players and pace them to get all the way to the last day, July 19th.
Yeah. So, hydration is also a key always. The coaches always emphasize hydration is key, especially in these summer tournaments. And, that's at least a worry they can cross off their list this tournament.
Wieland Muskins back at the face-off X and wins this one cleanly. Bulgaria has won 2 face-offs. They have 1 shot, but they scored a goal on it, and it's also their first goal as on the man up. So they can still set some history by scoring 6-on-6 for the first time in an international competition. Skip over the top, Bowman. Nice grab. As the pass sailed on him from Luke McDonald. This feed down low as that will get away from, that's Wieland Muskins that remained in on offense. That's not normally going to happen, but Muskins in the score, what this is here, will probably get a chance to play some.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've seen Muskins, but we also see Just Baselmans in offense, just staying, from that wing play, just staying on offense. Maybe try to find a goal. And with all respect to Bulgaria, but these are the matches for the Netherlands to try and get everybody a touch, get everybody a score, or get everybody a goal, which everybody deserves, of course.
Nico Berger off the failed Bulgarian clear. And Paul Blyce. And a chance to rest some legs.
I think I saw a quick offside here in front of me, but the rest will let it go. Yeah, like I said, also Paul Blyce now in on offense. Usually a short stick defensive midfielder, but they all get their chance in their offense. And yeah, if you're not playing as much defense as a normal game, maybe you need your time. You need your time on the field to stay warm, especially in this weather.
Good skip. Vanderheide will rip. Save made. Marcos Bocanegra able to go pipe to pipe and square his body to the shot. Talking with Tucker LaBelle and seeing Marcos also in the hotel that I'm staying at, how for an 18-year-old, this might be the most shots he's going to see, compared to his upcoming college career, and probably the best quality of shots he's going to see. He's facing grown men compared to what he's going to see. So what an introduction to a higher level of lacrosse that he is getting before he goes into his freshman year of college coming up in the fall. I can't think of a better way to basically trial by fire, to experience tons of shots to accelerate your growth.
100%. And also, if you're looking at this group with some powerhouses like Latvia, like England, like the Netherlands, those are teams with some big boys on there who can really rip that, especially with time and room. So I think that's an excellent preparation for your college career.
Timeout is taken, I believe, by Bulgaria, 14-1. 7:45 left in the third quarter. Netherlands will get the day off. Dutch are, I think, one of only 2 nations that is playing 4 straight days. But that's just a signal of the randomness of the schedule, and Tom Thayer understood that. And nothing he can control with that. So he is certainly very mindful of trying to keep his guys as fresh as possible. And also the first 3 games where you had Latvia, Finland, and England. Latvia and England obviously look like substantial challengers to be going to the semifinals and beyond to the final. And then the Finns you cannot discount either because of all the box lacrosse talent that they have too. That was a pretty good game, 11-7.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Finns are always a team you have to be looking out for, especially with their box experience. And yeah, like you said, 9 years ago with the last European Championships, box was not as big of as a factor for a lot of the teams. But you see Germany, you see Finland, you see the Czech Republic. They're playing so much more box, and it really.
Save made on Bocanegra on the pole, and Willem Colin.
Yeah, and as I was continuing about that box, about those box leagues, you see the Czech league really expanding outside of the Czech, And you see lacrosse all year around, box, field, now also with sixes, and you really see those teams improving. I also always think of Germany, who has a couple of these guys. They play both box and field, and it just shows on the field. Their stick skills are up to point, and they're so dangerous in those offenses.
Yeah, I've wondered and talked with coaches the influence of box. On one hand, it's going to greatly accelerate the stick skills, Ingmar, of those players that play both. But on the other hand, with the expansion of box lacrosse on the world stage, there may be some players that choose to play just box and not field. So then you can't take advantage of those enhanced stick skills. And players will have to make some tough choices too. So it might work in some cycles, in some cases really good for nations, and in some, unfortunately, they may go through cycles where they're missing key guys.
That's true. Yeah, that's definitely true. And especially with small lacrosse communities, the Netherlands is not a huge lacrosse community. But people have to make choices. Also because a lot of these programs are self-funded, so they don't have the support of national governing bodies. They have the support, but not the financial means to actually, keep the costs down. So there's a big sacrifice asked from a lot of these players on the financial part.
Netherlands with possession. Olaf van Nielen below GLE swings it. Julian Bakalov, who's been the most aggressive defender, I think, consistently for Bulgaria. Feed for Carver, carries through. Feed for Carver, nearly got to take it away by Tucker Lebel. Vanderheide, and then Vanderheide's pass, I think that went end out of his stick. Chance to try to keep that in for Hendrik Blom, but it's taken back by Bulgaria. Also should note for Bulgaria, tremendous imposing defenseman Dimitar Velev left the game about midway through the second quarter after being partially hit in the helmet with a shot. It grazed it. It wasn't a flush-on hit, but certainly it had major velocity from in tight quarters. Velev has not returned to the game, and obviously due as a precaution, Bulgaria, I think, clearly is going to hold him out until further medical evaluations. That's a substantial loss, and wishing the very best to Dimitar Velev.
Yeah, we're seeing him standing on the sideline, so that's a good sign. At least, he doesn't need to be rushed off to the hospital. So I think that's a good sign for now. But I hope he'll be okay for the next game, because it takes a lot of courage to step in on that shot.
Bulgaria keeping possession. The Bulgarians have had the ball on offense the most out of their 3 games so far in this one. And now learning how to take the ball to cage and run some offense. That's Dimitar Ivanov here carrying. And gives it up here to Tucker Lebel. Lebel is going into his 4th year as the head coach at Clark University in Iowa. And he has spent the last couple of years in Bulgaria and truly taking this Bulgarian national team and making it one of his passions to try to grow it. And entering this tournament was a chief goal, just to get a roster and a team in. And the ground ball, he will be scooped up by Clayton Bell. And Bell tries to bull his way through Graham Riekoff. And the Bulgarians will keep it. Thomas Heitzma, I don't believe, has made a save in this one. He has not had to.
No, I think he had the ball with the clear, but he didn't really have to step in on any of the shots. And
so Heitzma is itching to try to get some action.
Yeah.
Thomas Heitzma, if you ever have a chance to meet him, he is a high-energy person. That translates into his goalkeeping, and very vocal.
Yeah, and he's also doing a lot on social media. So he has a very active social media page where he shows his road to this European Championship, and I think it really inspires other European players to also pursue, playing for your national team or even play for your club team and achieve the highest. So a lot of credits for his social media post, and definitely give him a follow on Instagram.
Cutting through the crease, Casper Bovey may not have expected the pass from Thomas Carver. So that zone offense that the Netherlands would like to get back. Scored 14-1, and the Dutch, while they've had the ball a bunch, obviously they're aware that the score is 14-1, so they're not trying to score as much as they got a bunch of goals out of the way early, led 8-0 after 1, 13-1 at halftime. Got some pretty good looks on Bocanegra earlier, but did not score. But there's a fine line of trying to work the ball around, then score for, after a couple of minutes. Another failed clear, and then failing to score. Bovey all the way, and Bovey will get a layup out of it. Kasper Bovey has both goals of this third quarter. And Bulgarians hoping they can make some progress on the clear before this week is finished.
Yes. It was unsuccessful clear, and then Bovey just picked it up. There was not really anyone in front of him, just a one-on-one on the goalie. And yeah, who else do you want to have the ball in that position than Kasper Bovey? Excellent finisher. I think he was second in the league on scoring, on points in the Netherlands. So definitely the guy who can score. And it's only his second goal of this quarter. So.
Kreitz facing off for the Netherlands. Riekoff was over, and Colin, the Pole, comes up with a ground ball off the wing. Kreitz with a good fake. Down low comes Bowman, keeps it hot. Outside shot coming from Graham Riekoff. The Dutch would love to see him score a goal. And with 23.5 seconds left, third quarter. Feet in front, they get a goal. No one balanced up for Bulgaria, and Hayden Kreitz had to make the catch, make sure he was not in the crease, and finish 16-1.
Yeah, today he's really doing it all. Facing off, scoring goals. He had his first goal ever for the Netherlands earlier this game, and now he has already his second, and he's straight back to the face-off X. And Hayden is not a typical face-off guy. He's really been trained the last couple of months because, only actually Wieland Muskens was the face-off guy, so he's actually their second face-off guy. And I think he had a speedy course by one of the assistant coaches, Taylor Claggett, who was actually a face-off specialist at Notre Dame. So you can really see his, improved skills here at the face-off X.
And I'm sure he's getting a crash course behind the scenes in it as procedure is called on the Dutch. Another assist, by the way, for Jake Bowman. I'm pretty sure that was him that made the pass, as I noted on my line score. 8 seconds to go in the third. As LaBelle will back it off against Martin Kenbake, the defender. And that'll be all for the third quarter. So the Dutch get just 3 goals. Jake Bowman adds 2 more assists. Kasper Bovey, 2 more goals. 16-1 as we head to the fourth quarter from Wroclaw, Poland on Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV. So what happened over there with Israel?
Israel was up 4-2.
basically, so Whelan, first of all, this is the fourth in a row. You said lone true face-off guy. Tell me how you're feeling physically having gotten through 4. And second question, essentially the entire Dutch team is homegrown or lives in Holland. How would you describe the togetherness?
International game yesterday.
Yes, and Raj, I see some experience too.
That was his 50th.
Yesterday. We begin the fourth quarter as this one punched back by Hayden Kreitz and will be scooped up for a ground ball for Nico Berger of the Dutch. 16-1 is our score. Bulgaria giving up 19 in the opener to Finland, 26 to England. And give those nations credit, they did not run up the score, even though it sounds like those numbers were run up. But Bulgaria clearly improved even in the 72 hours since, because they have spent the most time on offense today, Ingmar Klinbanink, today compared to those two games against Finland and England for sure.
Yeah, and they have spent a lot of time on offense today, but still didn't really get the chance to run their systems. So I think the score is positive. Everybody got a touch. That's positive. But in the sense of getting through your systems, not as much as you might have liked. But I think for the team atmosphere and for the whole vibe, I think this is great to play a game like this.
And great news for Bulgaria. Number 9 in green, Dimitar Velev, has returned. Here's a shot that hits the pipe. Olaf Van Nielen really cranked one from very close quarters and went with a full windup in deep, but didn't finish. Rather than going with a quick release, Dutch will dig out the ground ball, and they'll have possession again, but great to see number 9 in green right in front of the goal. There is a finish. Quick, slick pass and then shot from Kasper Bovy, who's got all 3 of his goals here in the second half to make it 17-1.
Yeah, it's actually great to see the Bulgarian defender Velev back on the pitch. I mean, he was out a little bit earlier because he got hit in the head, and that's always nasty to see. But I think he got an itch. He really wants to get back on that field, and you can see him running around again with that long ball.
And we'll get false starts against Seaman Pejkovsky. And the face-off victory for the Dutch. 2.5 minutes gone in the fourth quarter. It's a continuous clock. Clock will only stop on whistles inside of 2 minutes of the fourth quarter and the final 30 seconds of the first 3 quarters. So there is no special running time when the gap of a game is this vast. And down the right alley, a deflected shot by Graham Riekoff and into the stick of Marcos Bocanegra, who's played the second half. Tony Angelov, a little older goalie at 25 years old, he got to play the first half. Pass for Velev, thrown behind him, and here is Jake Bowman.
Muskens.
Muskens the save, Muskens the follow-up. And now Wieland Muskens has his reward. After all the work that face-off guys have to put in, especially him when he's the lone guy, he gets a goal, 18-1.
Yeah, it was, he was open right in the middle, shot it against the goalie, then picked it up. I think it's, it's a habit. He needs to pick up that ball first before he can shoot because he's a face-off guy. So there was a ground ball right in front of the crease, picks it up, and quick finish. Congratulations on Wieland.
And Ingmar, every coach will tell you they prefer that the face-off guy take the shot rather than allow him to pass to someone that's used to shooting. So they've got to prove that they can shoot a little bit.
Yes, definitely. Sometimes, well, everybody knows these face-off guys who don't know where the ball is coming out when they shoot, coming out of their stick because, that stick gets bent, it gets warped, the mesh is all bunched up. So they rather have them shoot because then you can get the backup instead of trying to make a pass and nobody knows where it will end up.
And I've had also coaches pointedly tell me, I think it's a great insight, most face-off guys' shots have to come at full speed because of the situation that they're in. They're either having just won the face-off and they've got to go full speed because someone's on their hip, or they're getting a pass right back and they still are running full speed. That's a different shot than the attackmen typically have that aren't 100%, 100 miles an hour or 100 kilometers or more.
Definitely, it's such a difference. If you have time, room, you can see the goal, you can see the goalie, you can see all the angles. Instead of when you're just full on sprinting down the field, down the lane, and all have all the pressure from long poles who are gonna whack you from the wing. So yeah, so it's such a different dynamic in both those shots. You can't really compare them.
Thomas Carver, the shot that's blocked off of a Bulgarian body. And on to that point, coaches have also mentioned it's difficult to practice that shot because the face-off guy's got to work on his craft. And how much are you going to run him 100 miles an hour and practice that play 5, 8 times in a practice before that affects their conditioning? Only the super top athlete, maybe you would ask to run 8 full sprints like that. Save made Bocanegra on the touch shot inside by Kasper Bovy. How many times are you going to ask him to go 100 miles an hour off a face-off because that affects the rest of his day?
Definitely. So that's also the reason that they say, just stay on that offense for a little, get yourself a breather. You might get an opportunity to shoot, but just don't go running back right away, which you see in the high intense games a little bit more. So yeah, you really need to manage your energy, especially in games like this.
Errant clearing a pass, and Timon Bloom came up with a ground ball for the Netherlands. And the Dutch with it. They've scored 2 more times here in the fourth quarter. And a cut through the middle for Olaf van Nielen. Carver has gotten into the mix. Bowman has piled up the points and been a good distributor. Dutch have faced a zone exclusively the whole time. And they've worked to get medium range shots like this one. And this one is also off of Velev. Oh no. Dimitar Velev hit in the back of the helmet, and he's hit for the second time in this game in the head. They have immediately called over the paramedics who are on the scene close by as they're about to jump into our picture. But Dimitar Velev left the game, came back in. We saw how tough he was before.
Yeah, we just gave him credit for stepping in. He was a little bit out on the sideline, taking a breather. But and we just gave him credit at I think it was at the start of the fourth quarter for stepping back into the field, getting that itch probably, wanting to help out his team, and what a teammate he is and what a mentality he has shown. But yeah, this is always very sad to see someone down with an injury, especially an injury to the head is always tricky.
.756 to go in this fourth quarter. And Velev able to gather himself and obviously sit up. And from my perspective, Ingmar Klingbanik, that one got him in the back of the helmet rather than the side.
Yeah, it looked like he turned a little. He turned a little bit of his body, so not really facing where the shot came from. Just just throwing his body in front of it, and yeah, it really felt like, you know, maybe that part under your helmet where it's not covered by the bucket, that's where it hit him. It was a pretty fast shot, so I couldn't really see it as good. And we don't have a replay here, but I see Velev having his hand up in the air, maybe signaling to his teammates, I'm okay, or okay for now. At least I can get off the field just by myself, helped a little bit by his teammates.
Yeah, getting some assistance from the Bulgarian lacrosse president, Nikolai Cholikov. He's also an attackman, number 22 in green. And the Netherlands team, of course, also acknowledging the toughness that Dimitar Velev is playing with in a game that is 19-1.
Yeah, I can only imagine this also affects, you know, incidents like this. It can only affect the rest of your teammates. You can really see the Bulgarian defense is a little bit slow getting back on the field. You know, it's always very, very nasty to see one of your teammates laying down on the field, needing that medical attention. So I can only imagine their energy is a little bit down right now.
The Netherlands will have the ball. And a silence permeating here over field 2. One of the game taking place, or I should say one of the game in warm-ups on the other side. But here on this field, silence. Certainly the two teams would like to get out of this one unscathed, with health, particularly the Netherlands, who have the day off tomorrow. They are playing their 4th straight day. And there's a shot, and walking into a goal, Alderic van der Heide.
And yeah, we're hearing the fans trying to get that energy a little bit back, getting a little bit more of a positive note. From especially the Netherlands sideline is playing music, all dressed up in orange, the national color of the Netherlands. And fun fact, although the flag of the Netherlands is red, white, and blue, it's actually the surname of the king of Orange, so that's why we play in orange.
Mm. Yeah, well, always among the best merch and apparel in the soccer world too. the famous orange. Face-off win. The van der Heide goal made it 19-1. So here on the advance is William Colin, and also, again, several of the players in the women's national team are also here to support. Saw attackman and Bellamy Prasad is here. Defender Hannah Hunt. Midfielder Sophie Kodude is here. Draw control specialist and midfielder Linda Kuyvenhoven. So it's a great camaraderie with both sides. And as you would know, Ingmar, there's several 5 to 6 Dutch alumni players here too. Van der Heide, and he stings the corner. Difficult shot to save from that area for Marcos Bocanegra, 20-1.
Yeah, Ralph, yeah, like you said, there are a couple of alumni here making it out all the way from the Netherlands. I've seen and I've met Jelle Meerman, Jasper Boschinghorn, and also Jelle Erik de Vries, who played the most tournaments for the Netherlands ever. In the field game. So it's really see that camaraderie. You know, they're supporting their former teammates. They still have a tight bond to these guys. They know each other for so long. They see them also, you know, in the league in the Netherlands. So it's a really strong camaraderie, and they really feel like brothers.
Mooskins able to win the face-off cleanly and get it out to Bowman, but then his pass sailed on Jake Bowman. And out of bounds. Take us nearing 5 minutes to go. Good news is the paramedics, as this is turned right back over by Bulgaria. And what a difference it could be once Bulgaria makes further strides in the clearing game. They'll have a chance to do that once they go into the consolation brackets and start to also face some other less developed countries. As there's a shot there by Muskins, who remains in on offense. The countries that they've faced in their 3 games are no jokes. And they got set up in this group. That also did them no favors.
No.
And including the Finns, who are very offensively skilled. But the Bulgarians in their next several games are going to have chances to play teams that are much closer to their talent level and in their development phase. So they may have a chance to score multiple goals in those. There's Muskins on the cut, looking like an offensive player. He misses wide, though, on the shot.
Yeah, like you said, Ralph, you know, Bulgaria has seen one of the, you know, a couple of the most skilled teams, but also one of the most, couple of the most physical teams. You know, Latvia, England, also Netherlands have a couple of big guys, and Finland is always very physical with that box background. So definitely a very, you know, very hard group for the Bulgarians here.
Yeah, Bulgaria still having a game, I think, tomorrow against the Latvians. Shot is wide by Thomas Carver. And they're seeing in this group with England and Latvia, 2 of the maybe top 4 or 5 face-off units that they've been put in against. So they got no favors done to them. Missing the look, Wesley Heerkink with a flag down, and this will be against Bulgaria.
Yeah. Wes Gierkink is actually living and playing in the Netherlands. Has an American background in lacrosse, but now lives in the Netherlands, lives in Leiden, studies there, and really builds that program, that lacrosse program, local program for Leiden. He really is trying to rebuild it, and also the Hague program, the Hague Storks, and he's really doing a lot for Dutch lacrosse. So props and credits for Wes Gierkink.
Under 3 minutes left, so a man up for the Dutch for the first time in the second half. On the cut, Vanderheide. Yes, there it is. From Bovie to make it 21-1. So the Dutch able to execute the man up and get some more in-game speed action in. And Vanderheide hopes that this kind of shooting will translate over into the upcoming games in the knockout round. For Alderic Vanderheide, that is his 4th. Or check that, rather, his 5th of this game.
Yeah, so many scores.
Yep. At 21-1, we're under 2 minutes left. So the clock on our screen will be unofficial. The officials on the field will have the final clock. Also great news, the paramedics have left the Bulgarian tent and are back to their position in monitoring all action taking place here. Shot off the stick handle of Bocanegra in tight from Just Basselmans, the D-Mini that stayed in. But the paramedics are back, and Dimitar Velev was evaluated, I'm sure, for a concussion and beyond. And right now he is still sitting in the Bulgarian tent. But at least the paramedics have deemed him at least okay to remain here on the premises for now until further evaluation.
Yeah.
And you never know, of course, with head injuries, things can change, and we greatly and truly wish Dimitar Velev the very best the remainder of his time here in Poland. Because he looks like he can really be a player for Bulgaria with his size, range, and athleticism. And once his stick comes along as a defender, he will be a problem.
Yeah, definitely, and also showing his mentality. I mean, he's willing to step in on those shots twice in the same game. So what about mentality there?
Especially after having one near concussion earlier in the
Yes.
game. It's one thing guys will take that the first time. There's even less guys that will come back in and do that again.
100%.
Now,
Yeah.
that is a special breed that certainly coaches will notice and say, I want that kind of player on my team. And we're all even here. The Dutch to play out the final minute, and they'll get one more shot perhaps. That's Nico Berger.
Yeah, you can see really, again, kind of a man-up like offense from the Dutch. And they find the open guy right in the center with Nico Berger. And definitely, you know, a player who can play both ways. He's both a very good defensive midfielder. Seen that in the game against Latvia. And he can also shoot and finish, like you see.
Makes it 22-1. And Berger found the soft spot in the zone. Should be the final face-off. Dimitar Ivanov now will take this one rather than Semen Pejkovski of the Bulgarians. And procedure is called on Ivanov.
Yeah, I see.
Wanting to get a
another
shot,
goal.
one more for Hayden Kreitz. And Kreitz with 3.
Yeah.
So these D-middies are eating up this opportunity. You never know when the D-middies are going to have a chance to actually take shots again in games.
And Aldrik van der Heijden had actually multiple opportunities there with some other defensive midfielders also coming in. I saw Willem Collen here as LSM running in. He also, I think he would have liked to have the ball there and have a taste of scoring. And also saw Paul Blijs running in. So we see the same midfield line now out. So yeah, maybe they can do a do-over here.
Kreitz asking for it again. He wanted it again.
Yes.
Kreitz has gotten greedy in this one. Bowman rescues it. That's it.
That's it.
23-1. Bulgaria scores their first goal. We wish the best for Dimitar Velev and the Netherlands, perhaps infusing their shooters with great confidence. They'll have a day off, and then they go into the knockout round where it's a Dutch team that's very together, and they will be in the mix. They believe they'll be in the mix to get one of the top 7 spots when all is said and done to qualify for the 2027 Men's Lacrosse World Championships. For my partner Ingmar Klingbanink, my name is Ralph Binorchik saying so long and thank you for watching our coverage here of the 2025 European Men's Lacrosse Championships from Wroclaw, Poland. Final scores 23-1 Netherlands over Bulgaria on Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV.
I'm here with Clayton Bell from Bulgaria after their game versus the Netherlands. And Clayton, you did something pretty cool today. You scored the first goal in your country's history for an international tournament. How does that feel?
It feels really good to help contribute to the program. I've been coaching with these guys for about the last year, trying to get them schooled up with what I know about the box game. And so to go out there and get one on the board for them, it was good, felt great.
And you play box lacrosse. So how is that different from being at box to the field?
Well, it's been a big transition for me. I still don't know all the rules. Big nets make it easier to shoot. The long poles are hard to deal with. And, it's a big transition, but we're doing our best.
And most of you guys have either played box lacrosse or no lacrosse at all. So you just put a team together very recently. How's all the cohesiveness going? How's everyone working together? Tell me a little bit about the team energy.
Well, one thing I've just noticed living in Bulgaria for the last 4 years is, they're just such a warm, great people that they want to support each other, want to be there for each other. And sometimes things go good, sometimes things go bad, but they're there for each other. And it's been a really rewarding experience playing with them.
Awesome. That is Clayton Bell from Bulgaria, who had his first goal today. It's pretty awesome. Thank you. Good luck.
I'm here with Wieland Muskins of Team Netherlands as they defeat Bulgaria 23-1. Wieland, tell me, 50 appearances for you yesterday. Congrats, by the way. What does it mean to be able to represent your country for so long?
It's a great experience. You play with so many people, and we have a great program. It's just awesome to be here, year in, year out, and going for the team.
Now, you are one of your team's only true face-off guys. Now, what does this take on your body physically?
It takes a lot, yeah. That's why we had our second face-off guy stepping in today. I'm a little bit sore after 3 big games, but he stepped in and he had his first hat trick internationally. So we can do it all.
Yeah. Now, this team is all mostly homegrown. Tell me, what does that mean like when it comes to team chemistry for you guys?
We have a great team chemistry. We practice basically every week, so we see each other all the time. And it's just a great group of guys, really close. We know each other for 10 years, so great group.
Wieland, thank you so much. As I said, Team Netherlands defeats Bulgaria 23-1 here at day 4 of the Men's European Lacrosse Championships.
We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive. Growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport. Governed globally by World Lacrosse.
The Good Stick Company is here to manufacture and produce lacrosse sticks locally here in the Czech Republic. Our mission is to make lacrosse more accessible so more kids can have access to affordable, high-quality equipment so more people can play this game and we can share this sport around the world. Our philosophy on pricing is quite simple. By removing all these different logistics and these middlemen in the manufacturing process of lacrosse sticks, we can pass those savings on to you. We can make these quality lacrosse sticks affordable for more people.